for you. And I'm actually joined today by our communications and events intern, Maggie, who's actually going to be taking over the webinar today. But certainly at the end, we'll open up for questions. Also, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to put that in the chat box, and we will answer those as we're going. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to Maggie, and we'll get started.
Ooh, okay. Hello. Thanks so much, Annie. I'm really excited to be here today and talk to you guys about social media. So we're going to start with a quick reminder to follow the National Office on social media. And the first one is our Facebook, and the second one is both our Twitter and our Instagram. And following us on all these social media platforms is really great because it's a great source of content and news just for you guys to use and see. So we'd really appreciate that. And then just a quick branding guideline, remember, so when you're referring to the National Office, it's the Campus Kitchens Project in all caps. And then when you're referring to your individual kitchens, it's the Campus Kitchen at whatever university or high school you're at. And then abbreviated, it's CK, and then your school's abbreviation. So for our examples, we have the Campus Kitchen at St. Louis University, that's CKSLU. And then for a few of them, we have repeating acronyms. So for a few, we have like the Campus Kitchen at Emory University is CK Emory. So this is how we'll really refer to the individual kitchens from the national office. So it's just a good thing to remember. And so we're going to get into the meat of this a little bit. First, we're going to talk about kind of determining your audience and really kind of figuring out what platforms are best for your chapter. And I guess the main point here is really you don't need to be on every single platform to be successful. You just kind of want to figure out where you are going to be successful, because if you stretch yourself too thin, it gets out of date, and then people in our very information-driven world get kind of frustrated with that because it's not the most updated. So it's really just important to just kind of figure out what platforms work best for you. So the best way to do that is to kind of play around with the different ones and figure out what works best for you. I know a lot of the chapters have Facebook, which seems to work pretty well, but also Instagram, Twitter, some have Snapchat, but really just kind of figuring out what works best for you. And another way to do that is to ask your volunteers where they would follow you and where they would like to get that information from. And so some ways to think about it is what kind of content do you want to post? Facebook, for instance, is really great for almost anything. It's very visual. It's great for posting updates and just kind of information and engaging with people. It's a very all-around, broad platform. For Twitter, that's very popular for kind of news and conversation and just engaging with different people. It's very fast-paced. Lots of people post multiple times a day. So it's really just a great way to like have conversations with different groups and different people. And then Instagram is kind of the most casual and the most visual of all of these. There's a lot of creative opportunity here with your visuals, your photos, your videos, all that kind of stuff. So it really comes down to what you think you want to post and what your message is going to be. That will really help you determine where you should be posting. So then looking at kind of growing your audience a little bit, I know that was a question a lot of people asked on the survey, was how do we get more followers? How do we get our brand out there more? And one really great way to do that is to follow other campus kitchens, and you can interact with them, see what they're posting, what they're doing. And then also invite your friends to follow your pages, whether on Facebook, that's a direct invite. You just go through your friends list and invite every single person. I've definitely done that for different pages I've managed. And then just on Twitter and Instagram, following other people will generally prompt them to follow you back, which is a really great way to increase your followership. And another way to do that is to also making sure you're posting frequently, because the more you post, the more people will see it, and the more it will get shared across feeds and people will see it. And again, all these different platforms use algorithms to kind of determine what shows up first on people's feeds. So the more you're posting and the more varied your stuff is, it's going to be more likely to show up on people's feeds. Another great way is to do calls to action, which is just a great way to get people involved in talking. So asking questions and inviting people to answer in the comments is a really great way to get people to interact. And having people share your post also, you know, posting like a fun fact and saying like spread the word and get people out there. Because the more interactions on your post, the more likely it is to be at the top of people's feeds. So other kind of post examples that you could do. You really want to kind of show what it's like to be part of a campus kitchen, whether it's visuals or videos or facts. So just whatever it is, sharing your successes and your impact, sharing relevant news, engaging with other people's pages and posts are all really great ways to get yourself out there and get people seeing your stuff, which will eventually lead to more followers. Another great way is using tags and hashtags, so tagging other people's organizations, companies, whoever is kind of relevant to your post, and using hashtags. There's research out there saying that if you use one hashtag consistently, it's going to increase your post interaction and your number of followers eventually. So when you use like hashtag hunger fighters consistently like we do, that's something that will slowly boost your followership. The only downside of that is you don't want to overdo it. Over tagging and over hashtagging can make your post kind of messy and unreadable, so really be smart about who you're tagging and what you're hashtagging. So we just have a few examples here of kind of great posts. So our first one is from the Campus Kitchen at Baylor, and this was one they were getting ready for the MLK Day, and they shared this page from someone else, and that's just a really great way to interact with other people. And they also included a call to action, getting people to sign up, which was really great. Our next one is from Northwestern, and it was just sharing a post that someone else did from their volunteer shift. And that's just a really great way to keep up that conversation and interacting with people, and you know, everybody loves a shout out. So that's a really great way to keep the conversation going. Marquette, this is a great example of sharing a news article and kind of starting a conversation around that, which is a really, really great use of Twitter. And finally, we have one from Lindsay Wilson, which is a really great example of a visual showing what Campus Kitchen does, and they also did a really great job using tagging. So next we're going to look at a feature of Facebook and Twitter, which is live videos. This is a little bit newer, but it's a really great tool for getting people involved kind of online. So video content right now is really popular. It's getting a lot of traction across all social media just in general. And live videos are really cool because they allow you to engage and share with followers in real time and kind of create that almost in-person engagement. So to kind of how to create a live video is on Facebook or Twitter, you want to create a new post or tweet, click on the live button, which looks kind of like a radio station camera, and then you just add a title and you go live, and it's a really, really great option for making people feel like they're part of the experience, and it's a kind of almost authentic feel because people feel like they're there and doing stuff with you. So some ideas for ways to use live videos, go behind the scenes of cooking shifts or events. People love to feel like they're getting an exclusive view of things. So it's really cool to just, you know, showcase some volunteers and what you do at Campus Kitchens, and that's a really great way to kind of show people who are kind of like, oh, I don't know what a Campus Kitchen is, so I don't know if I want to join this. Like, this is a really great way to say, hey, this is exactly what we do, and we'd love to have you. Another great way to use this is highlighting personal stories from volunteers or clients, you know, just getting people in front of the camera and talking about why they joined Campus Kitchens, why they love working with Campus Kitchens, or kind of what, from the client view, what working with Campus Kitchens and getting meals does for them. And this is just a little reminder that if you are going to videotape clients, you need to get their permission to do so, and that's kind of in the form of a video release form. And I think that's on the pantry. Annie would probably know better than me.
Yes, it is. There are some waivers on there, and if you guys have any questions about liability or photo waivers at all, please feel free to let us know.
Thanks, Annie. And then another way to use broadcast ideas is to thank your donors and celebrate your successes, and we'll show you an example of that in a minute. But there's so much you can do with live videos. Again, this is a very short list, very limited ideas, so really feel free to take it and run with it. It's a really cool feature. And then just some tips for success. Broadcast for longer so people have a chance to join in. If you broadcast for only 5 minutes, it's going to take that long for Facebook to get the message out about it. So really you want to aim for like 15 or 20 minutes or longer, just so you give people a chance to find it, join it, see what it's all about. And a great way to kind of encourage people to do it is to post when you're going to go live ahead of time. I've seen it done where people will create an event 2 or 3 weeks before and invite people to the event and post updates, kind of teasers like, join us for this live video in 2 weeks. You're going to get a hint of this. It's a very cool way to do it, and then you can encourage people directly from that event to join the live video. On your video, make it really participatory, so ask for feedback, ask for questions, respond to those questions while you're still filming. It's a really great way to, again, engage people and make them feel like they're there with you. And another really kind of basic but super important thing is add a title and description before you go live. It will really help people know what you're about, so even before they start watching the video, they'll be like, oh, it's a campus kitchen cooking shift, so they kind of know what to expect a little bit, and you can draw them in. And just some general tips, like obviously you're not a professional photographer and that's okay, but really do try to be as steady as possible when you're filming. It's very hard to watch a shaky video. And also just, practice beforehand, have an idea of what you want to say. You don't want it to be scripted, but really just, be prepared so you're not too worried. And I guess my most important tip is just don't stress about it, because again, you're not a professional videographer, so just really have fun with it, enjoy it, and use this tool. And then just a final reminder that everything is serve safe in all photos and videos. Again, you should be serve safe anyway, but really make sure it is in your photos and videos. And we at the National Office love to share your content and show off what you guys are doing, but we can't do that if you're not serve safe in your photos. So I promised a cool example. This one is from Lindsay Wilson. They pied their leadership team after they reached their Raise the Dough goal. So this is it's a really great video, and I love that, but it would also be a really cool opportunity to do something live and, post ahead of time, like, look for a surprise because we reached our goal, and then, you go live showing this, and it's just a fun way to get people involved and laughing. And then it also includes this really great call to action saying, we still have time, still donate, help us fight hunger. So great job. That was a really cool video. So next we're going to look at Instagram a little bit. I know this is one that people kind of wanted to learn how to use a little bit more. So we're going to just do a little bit more of a deep dive into it. Instagram is really cool. It's a very casual, I think it's the most casual platform of all the ones we've kind of talked about. It's really a place to have fun and get creative and show people what your campus kitchen is really about. So it's a great platform for photos, videos, collages, kind of whatever you want and whatever you want to do. The one thing I would say is make sure your photos and videos are good quality. Again, when you're looking at your own personal Instagram, you really try to get that really clear, fun photo. Try to apply that same to your campus kitchen Instagram if you have one. Another fun thing is to try Boomerang. For those of you who don't know, it's the video that takes 3 seconds of footage and it plays it forwards and backwards and then repeats it over and over. It's really just a kind of fun way to do something fun. If you follow our page, you saw when we added another campus kitchen, we did a boomerang of us adding the pin to our map. And it's just a fun way to, it's just fun. I enjoy Boomerang a lot. And a key part of Instagram is mixing up your content. You don't want to do just photos. So do photos, videos, collages, really mix it up and just get creative, but always be telling a story. Make sure everything you post kind of tells who you are and what you're doing and the impact you're having on the community. And this is a really great place to use original content. A lot of other platforms are great for sharing and just posting and tagging, but really kind of use your own and make it your own personal brand here. Instagram is great because you can tag people in companies or organizations without it making your post super messy. So like a Facebook photo, you tag the actual photo instead of tagging them in the text. It's a really great way to tag more people. And again, if you have a photo featuring a couple students, make sure to tag those individual students so it shows up on their own profiles, and it will help, again, garner that gathering. So another tip is to use a business profile. That's a really great way to add more information to your bio than just a personal account. It allows you to set up contact information, attach a link put your address in there, classify yourself, and it gives you kind of more capabilities. If you want to, you can also promote posts. That's totally up to you and your funding, whatever that is. But it gives you more depth to it. A key thing with Instagram is to make sure you're following your followers and interacting with them. You know, just scroll through your feed, like the Instagrams. It gives people more incentive to like you if they see that you're liking their photo, and everyone loves getting an Insta like. So again, we're going to highlight some cool posts here. In the top left, we have one from Auburn, which is a really creative photo highlighting the really great work that they're doing. And it also does a really good job because it directs people to the link in their bio. The one downside to Instagram is you can put links in your captions, but it's not going to actually create that hyperlink, so it has to go in your bio. But this is really cool to use as an opportunity because like Auburn here, they say go fill out the Google Doc with the link in our bio. It directs people to their bio and their homepage, which then from there people may explore more, follow. It's just a really great way to keep people kind of sucked into your Instagram account. Next we have one from Kent State. Again, it's a really pretty photo highlighting their new kind of program. And again, Instagram is super visual, so it's all about creating kind of that perfect, super interesting post. And this is just kind of, it's a fun angle of the lettuce with the sign behind it. Next we have the one from Augsburg at the top. This is, again, really cool because it shows a kind of behind the scenes. It gives people a picture of what the campus kitchen is really like, and it's taken from that fun above angle. And then this last one, I think, is one of my favorites because to me it does really look like kind of a professional food Instagram with the bread and the rosemary and the garlic. And it's just a really great example of how you can get creative with this. So then another piece of Instagram that is really cool, especially for organizations, is Instagram stories. And I think this kind of covers, I know a lot of people asked about Snapchat. And Instagram kind of gives you all of the features you would get with Snapchat, but it's already integrated into your Instagram in a really easy way. So like Snapchat, Instagram stories allow you to post photos and videos that last for 24 hours. But the really great thing about Instagram over Snapchat is that you don't have to rebuild your follower base. So you don't have to worry about getting more people to like follow your Snapchat and add their Snapchat to your and all that. It's kind of messy and it's hard and people are kind of protective of their Snapchats. So if you just use your Instagram, you already have your followers there. They're going to see your Instagram story. It's kind of a way to combine two into one. And again, Instagram gives you statistics on how many people have viewed your story and what percentage of your followers have viewed your story, whereas with Snapchat you'd have to sit there and like count it out. So if you're really interested in metrics and analytics, Instagram stories is a much better way to go. So in case you don't know how to add a story to your Instagram, you open Instagram, swipe right, take a photo or video, edit it like a Snapchat, and then you just post it. And it shows up in those little circles across the top of your Instagram feed. So why Instagram stories are great also. It's always going to be there at the top of the feed. When Instagram changed their algorithm, it became like all the other ones where they kind of tried to figure out what people wanted to see, and posts could get kind of lost in Instagram's feed. Stories are really cool because they always stay at the top. They're always going to be there. They won't kind of get moved around. And especially if you're kind of posting consistently and successively, it's always going to stay at the front of the line of photos. So people are always, that's going to kind of be the first thing they see when they open Instagram. And again, Instagram, you only get 10 seconds if you're going to do a video, so don't let that freak you out. If you want to do an interview or tell a story, you can do several Snapchats in a row or Instagram stories in a row. You don't have to find a way to tell your whole story in 10 seconds. It's also a really cool way, maybe you're doing an interview with someone and you post 30 seconds worth of videos and say, and your last one is come back tomorrow for more. It's a really great way to draw people in and get them to come back to your platform. So similar to our other kind of platforms, story ideas, again, use it to promote events, show behind the scenes of events as a way to just get the word out there about what you're doing. Go behind the scenes with volunteer shifts or do interviews with volunteers or clients. Just It's another way to get people to really feel like they know who you are. And always remember to share your success stories. Kind of no matter what platform you're on, you really want to share all the good work that you're doing. So finally, we're just going to look at this one more kind of platform. It's not a social media platform per se, but it's a way for you to manage your social media. Hootsuite is a really cool platform. It allows you to kind of have all of your social media in one place. And you can use it to schedule out content, watch what your content's doing, and kind of just, so you're not jumping between apps or websites or whatever, you're really just in one place. So it allows you to see all of your profiles in one place. You can customize your dashboard, which you can kind of see in this photo here, to see kind of what you've sent, what's scheduled to go out, how people are reacting to your information, and it's super easy to use, super customizable. It also gives you insights. So again, if you're really interested in kind of how your posts are doing, when to post, that kind of stuff, it's a really great tool for analytics and statistics. Their free profile, they have one free plan and it allows you to connect 3 social profiles. So if you have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you're good. You can do all of them. The only downside to Hootsuite is it's really not easy to use with Instagram. If you have an Instagram for Hootsuite, it doesn't actually post to it to you. It just sends you a reminder to post stuff to Instagram. But especially for Facebook and Twitter, it's a really great place to have it all in one place. And really the benefit of using a platform like this is it allows you to schedule your content so you're not spending all of your time doing that. You can really spend your time interacting with followers and posting and commenting and engaging in that conversation, which is at the end of the day what really gives you that followership. So that's all I have today. I would love to answer any questions you guys have.
Excellent. Thanks, Maggie. So you can go ahead and either unmute yourself to ask a question out loud, or you can feel free to put a question in the chat box as well. Does anyone have any questions right off the bat? I know I'll jump in here while you guys are thinking about it. One thing that we've talked a lot about and sort of is that line between Instagram and Snapchat, and Maggie did a great job of talking about this throughout the webinar, but a lot of people asked when they're signing up, they had said that they really wanted to get engaged with Snapchat, and we certainly don't want to discourage you from being engaged in Snapchat. It's just a little bit of a harder platform to manage from a sort of a business perspective. So that's why it's really nice with those live videos on Instagram that you can, it sort of takes the best of Snapchat and puts in front of all of your Instagram followers as well. So again, if you wanted to talk more about Snapchat, we're certainly more than happy to talk you through that. You know, just we're sort of as a national office moving more focusing on Instagram, but again, if you feel like your audience is on Snapchat, then you can certainly take a lot of what Maggie was saying about those Instagram live stories and apply that directly to Snapchat as well. And the other thing I'll mention too is if there's any platforms that you're not on now that you would like to be but want some help setting things up, or you're not quite sure how, you know, you've lost passwords in the past for other platforms that you think you're on, but maybe, you know, you don't have access to anymore, reach out to us, let us know. You can contact myself or Maggie, and we'd be certainly happy to either try and reset those passwords for you or create a new profile. We know it can certainly be tough with transitions. Sometimes things get lost along the way, and so certainly we want to try and avoid any situations where we have duplicate accounts anywhere. And so the more we can avoid that, the better, as opposed to so we don't want to recreate something else that's already out there. So if you have any questions about what accounts your Campus Kitchen has, again, please feel free to let us know. Any other questions? All right, well, if nobody has any questions for this afternoon, think that that'll pretty much wrap things up for us. Certainly, though, if you think of something in a little bit, let us know. We'd be more than happy to answer those. Otherwise, have a great afternoon and a lovely weekend. Thanks, guys.